Hello, it's Miss Ferguson again, and this will be our second video for English Composition 2. For this particular video, I'm going to be offering a more visual version of our syllabus. I know that in the last video, I showed you on Canvas how you can access the different sections of our syllabus with the weekly schedule, with the methods of evaluation, and the policies and procedures, but I know those are text-based and print documents, and that can be intimidating to sift through, so I wanted to offer you a more visual version of our syllabus, and this is just going to be a quick slideshow version of that. And if you still have questions about anything that I mentioned today, again, please feel free to contact me. So first off, I know many of you want to know, like, who am I, your instructor? Again, my full name is Ashley Summerall Ferguson, and you can call me Miss Ferguson. Some students in the past endearingly called me Miss Fergie. I answer to that. My husband's nickname's Ferg, so I guess I kind of adopted the nickname Fergie after our marriage. As far as my background, I grew up in Ellisville, Mississippi. That is in Jones County. I think that particular town got a little notoriety a while back when the Free State of Jones film with Matthew McConaughey was released, and that brought a little infamy to the area. As far as after I graduated from high school, I actually decided to stay in Ellisville and attend Jones Junior College, which has been renamed to Jones College. I stayed there a year. I was in the dance line, Touch of Gold, the Kickers, also the choir, and I really enjoyed my time there, but it kind of felt like the 13th grade because I pretty much knew everybody. The teachers, went to church with them, the students, well, many of them were classmates or at local schools where I had met them before, even dated them before, and I just decided it was time for a change. So after my first year at Jones, I decided to transfer to Mississippi State University, and I later finished with my undergraduate degree in English education, and afterwards I decided to stay on for my master's degree in English literature. And while I was at Mississippi State, I was very lucky. I was able to work as a teaching assistant, and unfortunately at Mississippi State, you don't teach assist, you actually are thrown into a classroom to teach. So I was 21 years old, and I was teaching pretty much developmental English and English Composition 1 to students who were like 18, 19 years old, not much younger than me. So that made me mature very quickly. My last semester at Mississippi State in graduate school, I actually drove to Meridian Community College and taught a night class 2 nights a week. After I graduated from Mississippi State, I worked as a lecturer there, and that was for a semester. And then I decided I really wanted to work in a community college kind of environment. So I worked at East Mississippi Community College. They have a branch in Mayhew, 15 minutes from Starkville, and I stayed there for a year. And then I was looking for something more permanent, and I decided to work at Hines Community College in Jackson. I realized very quickly I am not a big city girl who likes an urban environment with high traffic, so I decided to relocate, and of course that's what took me here to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Obviously I've enjoyed it because I'm going into my 16th and a half year at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and I've actually been teaching for 17 years. So please know I've been well weathered in the college education system. Although I love teaching, it's not the only important thing in my life. I have my husband, Jason. We've been married 15 years. I have 2 sons. Ian is actually 11 and Rowan is 9. You can probably note from some of the photographs, I love sci-fi, particularly Star Wars. Luke Skywalker was my first love. And ironically, as my husband has gotten older, several people have said he looks like Mark Hamill. And I think it's ironic I've unknowingly married my childhood sweetheart, or fantasy, haha. Also, I love Yoda. Unfortunately, I'm in a different office right now because of COVID-19, and I have a whole section of Yoda memorabilia. So right now in my new office, I just have one Yoda photograph, but it was a wonderful gift from my husband. For my birthday, he gave me the child, from The Mandalorian. So I've added to my collection. So if you ever want to, talk Star Wars or, sci-fi, I would love to do that. As I mentioned in the previous video, I do have various forms of contact information. If you ever need to contact me, please call me, leave a message, as I mentioned in the first video. Email addresses, if Canvas is down, use these email addresses. Okay, I know life can get hectic, so sometimes you need to contact me. Again, my office location temporarily is going to be located in the STEM Building 123, and my permanent office is the Learning Resources Center 132. But please, as far as for my office hours, okay, you need to go to the STEM Building. If it's right before or after class, you may want to check on the LRC office because I may be going back and forth getting teaching supplies. The good thing about my schedule this semester, as I mentioned in the previous video, is I am in my office for a huge chunk of hours on Friday. So if you ever have questions about assignments, please feel free to call. You can, email. If you want to come physically, that's fine. Just make sure to know to wear a mask. And I'm also going to probably ask you for us to meet in the hallway so we can socially distance, or meet outside if the weather's nice. Again, I know I kind of went through the attendance thing quickly in the previous video, but I do want to clarify, okay, we are a Tuesday, Thursday meeting class, but because of COVID-19, we're having to shift and change to what's known as a high flex schedule. Remember, high flex stands for hybrid flexible. That means we're trying to be flexible with our schedules to meet the needs of our students. So again, you have 3 options that you can take for attendance. Now, you may attend classes on Thursday. That's fine. But if you decide not to, that's all right. You can take this course completely online. It's up to you. So if you come to class on Thursday, okay, we have a large class. I will probably have the initial first 12 stay in the classroom and then take the other 12 to another classroom and just ask you to, be patient. And then I'll overview some basic information about the class, okay? Now later, if you decide to take classes on campus, you will need to decide, okay, are you going to be team blue? Team blue will be meeting on Tuesday, okay? Or are you going to be team gold? Are you going to meet on Thursdays? So because we're a large class, we're going to have to split into half the class on Tuesday, team blue, half the class on Thursday, that's team gold. Now, that's one option, okay? If you want to attend class physically, you're going to do it 1 day a week and do a lot of work outside of class online. Okay, so that's the first option. Second option is some of you may never want to step foot on campus, which that's fine. You can do this class on campus. Okay, third option is more of a hybrid traditional kind of structure. You can sometimes come on the day that you want to come. You could come on, you're either going to be on team, again, blue or team gold. You can come on that date, but if you happen to miss, that's fine. You can do the work outside of class online. But the main thing, whichever route or option that you take of attendance, you need to understand that you must participate, okay? You must participate. If a student fails to participate in the class, you're going to be dropped from the course. And when I say participation, I mean you are actually getting into Canvas. You are looking at slideshows, you're watching videos, you are submitting assignments like reading questions, online discussions, journals, major assignments like, it could be an abstract, it could be an essay. I can actually go to Canvas and I'll be able to see how many hours you've logged in, how many page views. If you fall off the map for a while, I will send you kind of a cautionary warning that you need to get back into the course. But if you just don't show up and don't do work, you are going to be, unfortunately, taking the chance of being dropped from the course. So be careful with your class attendance, okay? Participation is key this semester. As I mentioned in the video, the previous video, you're going to notice that we have an overview of our assignments. You're going to have 14 reading questions that I highly encourage you to answer. They're going to help in your interpretation and understanding of the literary works. They also kind of guide our discussion. You're going to have also 4 journals. They relate as well to our literary works. You're going to have 2 online discussions that relate somewhat to the literary works, but also other aspects of your life. An APA abstract, as I mentioned in the previous video, you are going to be reading an article, and then you are going to essentially overview the content of that article, summarize it in a paragraph summary. And it's APA formatted, and APA stands for American Psychological Association, Okay, and that means you're going to have a title page, an abstract page, which is a summary of your article, and then a reference page, which is similar to a works cited page. Now, the big assignment of the semester is your research project. The first thing you're going to do is complete an annotated bibliography. You're going to have to find 3 sources from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College's library databases. You are going to essentially find the publication information of those sources, list them alphabetically, and below the publication information, you will summarize the content of each article and how you're going to use it in your research paper, which is coming up. Now, your research paper is the Google Docs argumentative essay. I'm going to provide 2 templates, kind of 2 outline structures you're going to use to write your essay. I've had more successful student argumentative essays using this template, and most students like it because it makes it easier. And we'll talk about those templates in more detail at a later date. And then finally, your final is not an exam, it's a presentation. It's going to be a slideshow version of the essay that you wrote for the Google Docs argumentative essay, but it's going to be more visual. It's going to be a slideshow version with photographs, images, graphs, charts, whatever it might be, and you'll include some of the research that you had. Now, I'm not going to pause a huge amount of time on some of these slides. You can pause yourself, but I just wanted to overview in more detail about the reading questions, the journals, online discussions, APA abstracts, the argumentative Google Docs. This does overview this assignment in more detail, the project itself and the 3 assignments associated with it. So you might want to look through these, pause and look through these. Extra credit. Now, this I do need to mention. We only have 3 ways to attain extra credit in Comp 2. First way is you can visit Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College's Learning Labs, whether it's on the Jackson County campus or the other campuses if you're doing this online. I would highly encourage you, if you are on the Jackson County campus, try to make an appointment. You can call or you can email to make an appointment with Mr. Filipoff. He is an awesome tutor. He's great with organization, especially helping with organizing your thoughts for an essay. But you can also take your graded essays and receive 5 points on those assignments. Now, you can do this also through WebEx, and you can do it virtually if you're not going to be taking your classes on campus. So make sure to get in contact with him for extra help. Another way to get extra credit is a little bit later in the semester, you're going to be asked to evaluate your instructors, not just me, but all of your instructors here at the college. And if you will take a picture showing that you have evaluated your instructors. Now, I'm not going to see your comments or evaluations. When you finish your evaluations, it gives you just a verification kind of message that you completed the evaluations. Take a picture of that. You can show it to me in class if you're attending class with me, or you can just send me an email, and that will be 5 points added to an assignment of your choice, except the argumentative Google Docs essay. Your third option is we are going to have some grammar quizzes at the bottom of our modules page. These are optional, but if you complete all 4 of the grammar quizzes by the end of the semester, that will be 5 points added to the assignment of your choice. Just make sure before you take the quizzes, look through some of the slideshows, the lessons, the videos, the notes on like the run-ons, the comma splices, the fragments, subject-verb agreement error. Especially if you see you're making some of those errors in your writing assignments, that means you need to work on them. So those are the only ways you can get extra credit this semester. Now, reasonable accommodation. If any of you have any type of physical or learning disabilities, you first need to register with Darla Lyons. She, of course, is our, kind of our contact through Student Support Services. Try to meet with her, whether you meet with her virtually or you meet with her in person. Make sure to wear that mask, and she will sit down and see what accommodations and needs we as instructors need to fulfill for you, and then she'll send a very discreet email so we know what we need to do to make your learning environment better. Now, some of these things might not apply to all of you. If you're taking classes on campus, we expect you to behave in a professional manner to your instructor and to your classmates. If you're taking classes online, you need to use Netiquette, and we'll talk about Netiquette in more detail when we get to our online discussions. Cell phone etiquette, again, this applies if you're on campus. Just be respectful, kind of pause the video and read through kind of my rules. I don't mind if you use cell phones for academic purposes, but I don't want you on them, on social media and texting, because that's disrespectful. And obviously no photographs without individuals' permissions. Also, if you're coming physically to class, Just make sure you're respectful and stay in class and don't get up and out of your chair. You're socially distant, so don't, of course, get close to others and wear your mask, as I mentioned. And as far as for plagiarism, do understand the repercussion for plagiarizing in our English department is that you do have a 0 on the assignment. So do your own work. No cheating or taking papers from online or classmates. And the last thing I want to mention is just overall, before you ask me a question, look in the syllabus, whether it's this version of the syllabus or the one on Canvas that's the text print version. But look before you ask, but don't hesitate to email me and ask me any questions. I truly look forward to meeting you all, some of you on Thursday of this week. And if I don't get a chance to meet you in person, I look forward to getting to know you online. Y'all have a wonderful first week of classes, and I appreciate you enrolling in my class. Thank you.